Well, first of all, we're so excited that you're on. If you are on, put in the chat who invited you tonight. We're excited to just talk a little bit more about our personal stories and just share a little bit more about the supplements, and not only how they help us be better moms, but how they have helped us financially as well. So I'm going to open it up and let my girl Megan start us off. She's amazing. So I'm really excited to hear her testimony. So go ahead, girl, take it away.
Okay. So I started Plexus probably about 2017. So I've, been on it for a while. I started with Triplex, of course. I had a lot of issues with IBS and constipation. I didn't have any energy, which I battled constipation like my entire life. And so I tried Triplex. Within like a couple of weeks, I was already feeling better, more regular, more energy, and just, a change in the way I felt. My anxiety was better. So I've been using the products for a while, but I had no intention of starting to share at all. I didn't really even start sharing until a couple of months ago, right after I was invited to the fall retreat that we had for all the Plexus girls. So I was invited just by Marissa, and just, I had no idea what to expect. I was really scared, and I'm an introvert. So it was really a big deal for me to go to something like that. So, but it was nothing like what I was expecting it to be. It was just an amazing group of women, and sorry, I knew that God had placed me there for a reason. And I mean, I just, this community is amazing. These ladies are amazing. So if you're, thinking, well, where do I fit in, or if I can fit in, you do. It doesn't matter where you come from or what personality you have. You can fit into this community. And but so just as like for the financial thing that's happened, I just ranked senior silver. And then last month I was able to pay for my products. And then also I was able to pay some on Annalise's, and my daughter, she is in All-Star Cheer. And so it can be very expensive. So actually I was able to help pay for some of that for last month. So I'm looking forward to growing and, hopefully pay off some debt in the next couple of months. So yeah, I mean, the opportunity is endless. I mean, you can make as much money as you want to, but I'm looking forward to growing and learning from all of you ladies. I'm excited. So yeah.
Yay. Thank you for sharing. I'm so glad that you shared that you were nervous to come to our fall retreat, but that you came anyway, and like you felt like God nudged you and told you like you were in the right place, because that is how so many people feel once they finally get there. Like there's so many people that still haven't came to any of our events because just of being an introvert, or like busy, maybe just nervous because they've never met anyone in person before. But like you bringing that up just brought tears to my eyes, because I was like, I've been in that same boat where I was the new person before, and I felt like I might have been left out, but our community does not let anyone feel that way. Like you come in and you're immediately welcomed with open arms. So I'm so glad that you shared that. Love your story, and you are definitely going to grow. Love that it's paying for her cheer right now. So that was awesome. All right, Alyssa, I'm going to let you go, sister, my homeschool mom friend. Take it away.
Okay, she called me her homeschool mom friend, and I've been homeschooling for a whole month and a week. Okay.
I'm proud. The teacher in me is proud to know a homeschool friend.
I'm so glad that somebody is, because my kid doubts me every day. She's like, Mom, really. We just have to do it. Like, stick it out for like 30 minutes, please.
I love it.
So yes. I'll try to give like a snippet of my Plexus testimony, just my health testimony, and then I'll cut over to kind of what I want to talk about tonight, just the homeschool thing. So I started Plexus because I had zero energy as a new mom, absolutely zero energy. I wanted anything and everything that would give me energy. So I started with a triplex also, Megan, and it changed my life in more ways than just energy. I also had constipation issues, but I didn't know I had constipation issues. I just thought it sucked, but I only went to the bathroom once a week. And so then and even as a nurse, I say this all the time, like they never teach you about gut health in nursing school. And that was the source of everything. That was a source of no energy, being tired all the time, not sleeping well, for not going to the bathroom. And then I fully believe that because I got on triplex, I was able to nurse Penelope, my first daughter, for 18 months. I had a crazy supply with her, and I nursed her for 18 months. It also could have been because she never took a bottle and I was her pacifier, but my supply, when I started Plexus and got regulated, it went through the roof. And so I felt really great. I had this fog that kind of lifted off of me that I just never even knew was there. It was just like somebody had opened my eyes and I could breathe and I had energy and I didn't want to crash when I got home at 4:00. And so that was just the big, oh, Marla, I know. It's such a sweet time to be able to breastfeed. And with my second daughter, I only made it 8 months, but I didn't nurse her as much. She's just, actually, let me take that back. I shoved a passy in her mouth because my first one would not take the passy. And I said, I'm not doing that again. Like, I love you, but 18 months, I can't handle that again. So weaning moms, I feel for you. That was the worst 3 days of my life. Anyways, back to the story. So health testimony, I started going to the bathroom twice a day. That's a life changer. If you don't go to the bathroom twice a day, you need triplex in your life. It literally rids the toxins out of your body, and that's where the energy comes from. So when you get all that out of your body. And so I have been using Plexus for my daughter's 6.5, so right at 6 years now. And then, so this last year, I started having some random troubles with anxiety that I'd never had before. I fully 100% believe that they were an attack from Satan. And if you don't believe in spiritual warfare, dig into that because it's out there. So basically, I got off of all of my Plexus products because I thought that something in one of my products could have been causing either an increased heart rate that was very random and or the anxiety. So I got myself off of every single one of them, and then very slowly, the slowest, I've never told anybody to go this slow starting triplex, but I did. I started like my probiotic for like a week and it did nothing. And so I got on my BioCleanse for another week and I was okay. So I very slowly started my products back to include the triplex and Vital Biome, which is an incredible supplement for anxiety. That is my core products that I use every day. I use almost everything else that Plexus offers, but those 4 things, I can't say that I'll let go of those ever. If I was on a deserted island, those would be my products that I would take. But so I also feel like kind of some of that anxiety stirring up was like this process of God bringing me to homeschooling. That never crossed my mind. Like, I don't consider myself to be a patient person or to be a person that just wants to sit down and like teach. Even when I had, like, what do you call them? Preceptors in a nursing world, I'd be like, okay, this is how you do it, and you just have to follow me and learn it. Because I don't know how to teach you other than to show you how to do stuff. So I never really considered myself like a teacher. And then this book right here, I share this because the Plexus, and especially this team right here, is so much more than just products. Yes, you're going to get the products. Yes, when you order a combo, we're going to walk you through how to take it and all of those physical things that you need to know, but you're getting 1,000 more things. And so we read this book called Nothing to Prove by Jenny Allen as a team, and we had like a book club. But I was actually sending it to someone who won a giveaway from me today, and I thought, I'm just going to go through my book and highlight some things that I loved to send to her. And I flipped to this page and I sent it to Natalie immediately because I was like, are you kidding me? On the day I'm supposed to talk about homeschool on a call, this is the page that I just happened to flip to. I had no plan of like doing this in this book today. But I'm just going to read y'all a little piece of what I kind of underlined and highlighted. It says, Jesus lives on the other side of our comfort zones. I think there should be a God-honoring, obedient risk in our lives every single day. I'm just saying that I believe Jesus lives on the other side of our comfort, and that when we get comfortable for too long, we start to miss out on our need for God. We tend to make most of our decisions based on fears rather than on our faith. And so right here, this tiny little green word says homeschool thoughts. Like, I think that's might have been where it started. And then the further we got through this book, I was like, what do I do now? Like, I'm supposed to go back to school as a school nurse in August. And what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm just having these little baby thoughts. And so long story short, like that book, and I think, well, I read another one with my church that really just pushed me over the edge. You should get that one. It's called Wild Goose Chase by Mark Batterson if you really want to be pushed spiritually. But going in, I finally made the decision to quit my job as a school nurse in October this past semester. And then I left in December, and that was scary. Like, my husband is a contractor. He opened his own business in January of last year. And he's been busy, but I mean, that's like, kind of an up and down type career. And I was the only one in our household who had insurance and a salary and like stability of any kind. And I was just feeling this overwhelming call from God to come home, leave my job, not know where our paychecks are going to come from. Like, are we going to get 4 paychecks this week and none that week? Or how does this go? And I'm a planner. Oh, like, I need to know how much is coming in, how much is going out, what do we got left over, all those things. And that he was calling me out of that comfort zone so big, so big. And so I've always known about this Plexus opportunity, and it's always been right in front of right in my hands. And I've worked the business and dabbled here and there. But I think God really opened my eyes with this team and kind of how we've been, the momentum that's been going in the last few months. And just this last paycheck I got covered every single one of our bills, all of them. I mean, it doesn't matter what my husband makes or doesn't make in the next month because our bills are paid. And stop, Blakely, because I'm going to cry. I'm going to make it through this. So that just tells me that stepping out of your comfort zone, whether that's jumping on this call and you were like, I wish this girl would just leave me alone about this stuff. I don't want to jump on a call. That's so weird. Like, I don't even know these people. But you did it and you stepped on the call, and that he wants you here for some reason, whether that's just to hear an inspiring story or you're hearing about products that you need to get your, you've been praying for some change in your body, or you've been praying for a financial opportunity that can help you leave your job. I was not happy that I was having to send my 3-year-old. I was blessed to have a pre-K program at my school, where she could be in the same building as me. But I wasn't happy that somebody else was getting my baby for 40 hours a week. And I was sitting at a desk, down the street in a different office. So I just wanted to touch on that opportunity piece because it means so much to me right now. And just the opportunity with Plexus is far beyond what I could ever grasp. Like I'm an RN, I have my bachelor's. I could go be like a nurse supervisor, or I could, work my way up in a hospital, but I still would cap out. There would be a place where I'd have to stop and I wouldn't make any more money. And I would be giving my life over to a CEO, making somebody else a bunch of money and making decisions for somebody else instead of for my life and for my family. And the opportunity to change your life financially with Plexus is out of this world. There's no cap. You literally can make as much or as little money as you want to. And so with that potential, that's not something I can let go of. I keep telling God, like, I've tried to back out enough times now, and I have tried to stay at a steady job where I'm comfortable. And he's like, nope, can't stay there, can't be there. So I can look back and see where he's prepared us all along to be in this spot. I could talk about that all night long. So Natalie, you might want to take over.
I could listen to that long. Like, your testimony is one of my favorites because I've gotten to see it. Like, I know you started Plexus like a long time ago with Marissa, but like since you rejoined us last fall, I've gotten to just see this whole transformation. And I am so blessed by your testimony, Alyssa. Like, I could choke up right now. Like, it's so amazing. But like, I really loved that you pointed out the fact that like you're gonna get so much more than just really good products with this community.
Yeah,
And
I mean, the products are unmatched. As a
Mhm.
nurse, I can see that. And as a nurse, I read testimonies every day where I'm like, man, that probiotic does that. Like, I had no idea that could help this. And so I'm like still learning every single day about new regimens. So the products like speak for themselves.
Mhm.
But we can speak for this team right here.
It's
It's
yeah,
just another level.
it's so different. I know. And like, I'll just kind of go into my story a little bit. So my long story short is that whenever I found Plexus, I was a tired first year teacher. Like, no kids yet, but I was exhausted. And I was to the point where I was thinking, like, are we going to even be able to have babies? Because I don't have the energy. Like, I have to go to work and come home and I want to take a nap. Like, how am I ever going to raise babies when I don't even have the energy right now? And I'm like in my 20s, what is going on? And I had a lot of gut health issues that I had always struggled with. But I was like you, I didn't know it wasn't normal. I mean, I just thought it was like unconventional, not great, but not a problem. And so then I saw Marissa posting about just the triplex, and she was a mom of two, and she had all of this energy and she was bouncing off the walls and always positive. And like, I was like looking at her like a role model. Like, that's what I'm aspiring to be, especially when I'm a mom. Like, I need all this energy. And so reached out mainly for the energy and just like the bloat, like the uncomfortable bloating. And immediately, like within the first week, had regular bathroom habits, which was huge for me. Like, did not even realize how good I could feel going normally, like a whole new person. But then not only that, it just felt like the fog was lifted off. I had so much clarity. I had more energy. I wanted to come home and like take my dog on a walk. I wanted to come home and hang out with my husband and like do something active outside. Like, let's go throw a baseball, like all kinds of stuff that just was not like I normally would have. And I loved it. I was like, I was a secret customer or whatever for, I don't know, a while. And then I decided, okay, well, I'll share here and there. And I did, and I would share on my story, but I loved my teaching job. So I was never looking at like the business opportunity full on. I was just like, yeah, if I can make, some extra money and get my supplements paid for, cool, whatever. Well, then, like I said, I loved the supplements. So I had been on them for almost 3 years. And then we decided that we were going to try to get pregnant. Um, the the supplements being plant-based, it like never bothered me, but I went ahead and asked my doctor, like, if it's okay if we try to conceive on these supplements. She was like, yeah, these are great, like keep on with it. And so got pregnant successfully, like after only trying like 3 months, super blessed in that area. And then had a completely healthy pregnancy, continued the triplex, which I don't know if I mentioned that was the combo I started with. And just continued the triplex my entire pregnancy. Was actually told by my doctor that was better for me than taking Miralax every day while pregnant. If you don't know, Miralax is not good for you. So if you struggle with going to the bathroom and you're taking over the counter laxatives, stool softeners, Miralax, like those are not great for you. And I lived on those, like basically had to my whole life. So anyways, had a really healthy baby, but it was in the middle of COVID. I had him in the middle of 2020 in May, and I had to go back. We were actually virtual because we went virtual teaching in that March. So I got the last 2 months of my pregnancy at home. That was a blessing. But then I was terrified. Like, I'll just be completely honest. I was terrified just about the world in general, about what's going to go on, what's going to happen. But having a brand new baby, bringing into that world that I just had no idea what it was going to be like, was so scary. I had to lean a lot on my faith. I got some anxiety. I'd never really struggled a lot with anxiety before, but just like the unknown of like, oh my gosh, like gut wrenching to think about sending him to daycare, and like, what if he gets sick, and like just all of these things. Or what if I, have to go back to the classroom and like I bring something home to him, and like just multiple things like that were running through my head. And so I remember it was like literally the day before I went into the hospital to have Parker, I was online doing interviews for virtual teaching positions. I was like, I'm going to be at home. Like, I've got to teach virtually. I'm doing whatever it takes to be at home. Well, then I had him like the next day and brought him home. And I think like 2 weeks went by, and like I didn't have a call yet for my interviews. And I was like, I had him in my arms at this point, and I was like, I cannot put him in daycare. I cannot go back to work. And I just cried to my husband, and I was like, what am I going to do? Like, what if they don't call me? Like, what if I don't get to be virtual? Like, what if I have to go back? And so that day I saw Marissa post, and she was at the lake, and she posted something about just like the freedom of getting to have her babies out on the lake. And like, I just remember looking at Ethan and being like, I've got to figure out more about this comp plan for Plexus, because I've loved it for this long. I've watched my friend Marissa like make a good income with this. Like, I've got to figure out more. So I called her up and I got on the phone. I remember I FaceTimed Brittany that day too. And I just poured my heart out. Basically, I was like, this is my last option. Like, I need a plan. I need something to be able to stay at home with my baby. And we basically just set some goals out. Like, this is what we're going to do. This is the plan. This is what we can do. We can make this happen. And I was so blessed because I was able to keep my virtual teaching job that I'd had with the current school I was with. So that was just a huge blessing in itself. But I was like, I know that that's not forever. So I'm going to build this business up. My goal was to just be able to like pay our bills, like make half of what I was making, like just something. I was like, I got to just build this up. Well, that was in August. And in March, I got my first check that was over $4,500. It was close to $5,000. And I just remember like, that was more than my teaching check that I get in a month. And I was like, this is like getting real. This is becoming like an actual thing. Like, I might actually be able to quit my job. But I was still a little nervous to talk to my husband about it. Like, is he going to be okay with that? And so I basically just told him, like, when I got the money, I was like, look at these numbers. This is like real. And so in April, we were like, okay, like if is going to happen. And this is a thing, like we're doing it. And so in June, I quit my teaching job. I have made more with this opportunity than I ever did as a teacher in Fayetteville Public Schools, which is one of the highest paying for teachers in our state. I was a cosmetologist before I was a teacher. I was working behind the chair full time, and I make more now than I did doing that. And I just get to be at home with Parker, and it's like the freedom of the time that we have together. I mean, obviously I'm getting paid good money, and like, I'm not even where I want to be yet. So I'm like, if I'm in Marissa's shoes making over $10,000 a month in 5 years, and Parker's in kindergarten, like what's 5 years? Like it's going to be more than I would have ever made as a teacher. If I would have put in 30 years, I would have never made that much as a teacher. And so it's like, if it takes me 3 years, okay. If it takes me 10, okay. Like that's more than I was ever going to make. So just like being able to have that flexibility and that freedom. Like if I want to go back to the salon a day or two a week in the future, I can. If I want to tutor or go up to the school wherever Parker's in school one day and like help with his class, I can, but I have the freedom to do that. And it's just the biggest blessing. And like Alyssa said, if you're on this call and you've heard our stories and you have a tug at your heart and you're like, I can resonate, or like what that story I can relate to way too much, like then you're here for a reason. And I just want you to know that like this community is so genuine and so just like different than anything else. Like, and this is off topic, but like I grew up in church. I grew up in youth group. I grew up in small groups. I've even been in small groups as an adult. And like this group of women right here is closer, like they are closer knit and like just as spiritual as any small group I've ever been a part of, actually more so. Like they will pray over you at the drop of a hat. They will, you know, just lift you up, encourage you, pray for you, all the things. And so like Alyssa said earlier, you are getting so much more than just amazing supplements that help you feel good physically. You're getting a group of women that lift you up spiritually and mentally and emotionally as well, which is huge. So that's my story. But before I hop off, I'm going to share what my friend Madison sent me. She's a mama of twin girls and they are 2 years old. I think they're like 2.5 now. They might be going closer on 3. Madison, you might need to put it in the chat. How old are your girls? I know they're definitely over 2, but I don't think they're 3 yet. But she shared with me today, she wanted to hop on, but she's putting her girls down. She said, Plexus has definitely been a lifesaver for me. I'm a mom of twin girls who are 2, and let's just say, man, they are hard to keep up with. These supplements have helped me tremendously with mood, energy, inflammation, and bloating, stress, anxiety, and even getting off of stomach medicine. Before Plexus, I lived off of coffee and naps, and I just feel so much better. I've become a better mom because I'm taking care of myself and I can take care of my babies. Some days are really hard being at home with my girls 24/7 and never getting a break, but I've started taking 2 Vital Biomes, which is our mood boosting probiotic. It says first thing in the morning, and I can tell a huge difference in my mood. Used to, I would get so frustrated when there would be a muffin crumbled up on the couch, or when I just picked up the house and the girls demolished it 2 seconds later. But now I just take a breath and make them help pick up the mess. The accountability groups have been such a blessing. Before them, I wanted to exercise and wanted to be healthy, but it was just a struggle because I was doing it on my own. And it always felt like I was never doing enough. Since starting the accountability groups, I've stuck with the workouts and eating healthy. And it's so much easier when you have others doing it with you, and love seeing everyone else crushing their goals. Thank you for everything you do for our group. And she has lost around 20 pounds and has lost 4 pant sizes. She's freaking amazing. And I tell her all the time, like having twin girls, like twins in general, I don't know how she does it at all. So she's a superhero in my book, but she is. Brittany said it at the same time. She's a superwoman. She's killing the at-home workouts. We have a little accountability group that we do. We give away weekly prizes and motivate everybody to like get their water in and be active and all of those things. And so I just wanted to share Madison's story because she has an amazing testimony, and just being a mama of twin girls, like I said, she's a superwoman. So anyways, one last thing before we hop off, if you don't mind just putting in the chat where you live, and just put the city and state you're from, or yeah, just the state will work. And then we're going to pick a quick winner for our prize. I'm so excited that y'all hopped on tonight. Got to hear some of our stories.
I'll pray before we get off now.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. And then I'll pick a winner we hop off.
Okay. God, thank you so much for allowing us to be together tonight. We thank you for technology that allows us together from wherever we are in the world. Lord, I just know that you brought each one of us here together tonight to talk about these testimonies for a reason. Lord, we're all constantly praying and asking you for things, and I just hope and pray that you touch somebody's heart tonight through the words that we spoke. God, I just ask that you be with each of us. Lord, help us to keep you forward in our minds and at the front of everything that we do, whether we're talking about supplements or we're talking about our walk with you. Just help us to always remember that you're the one that our blessings come from, and that you have blessed us with this amazing community that I'm so excited and so thankful to be a part of. God, just be with each one of us as we rest tonight. We're all mamas, and just give us a heart and body and soul, mind full of rest. And thank you for all your blessings. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Alyssa. Okay, Brittany, if you don't mind picking a winner really quick, and then we will call it a night. Y'all, thanks again for hopping on. Reach out to the person that invited you after this call and let them know if you have any questions. And Britt, who's our winner?
Let's go with Brittany, another Brittany. Blackerby. Is that how you say the last name?
Yeah, that's my girl. I'll get her
Yeah.
address. Okay, well, y'all have a great night. We'll talk to you guys later.